We have Keith Self, who is a congressman from Texas, state of Texas. And Keith, in your words, how are you celebrating this victory? Especially in the room, we see a lot of cherishing, enjoyment, and all that. How do you see that?
Well, we've got a lot to celebrate tonight. Ted Cruz is going back to the Senate. That's the big one. Um, I I will win my election, and I'm very grateful for that. But we've got a lot of work to do. I'm very hopeful that Donald Trump will be our president, and I just have to tell you, I'm very optimistic.
And congratulations on your win. So, what are your thoughts about what policies you would like to implement? Something new that you have not done in the past.
Well, it, there is nothing new under the sun. We have to continue to work on the national debt. We've got to work on our national credibility around the world. We've got to work on uh, the regulatory state, and we've got to work on securing the southern border. There's nothing new under the sun. You know, those are the topics that will continue to be at the top of the list.
So, in 2016, when President Trump was president of the United States, at that time there was some unfinished work, especially with regards to the Trump wall and the border securing. So, is that something going to be finished? And do you think the illegal immigration would be that issue would be resolved for good?
Well, no, it'll never be totally resolved, but we can certainly help it. And you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be serious about it. So, yes, the wall will help, policies will help. So I think there's a lot of work that we can do that would make it much better.
And with regards to the foreign policy, in your own words, tell us what do you think, especially United States contributing billions of dollars to Ukraine or other countries when there is a lot of unemployment and economy issues in the country itself. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we need pro-growth policies back in our nation. That is a given. We cannot cut our way out of our debt. We've got to have pro-growth policies regardless of that. Those two are not equal, but most important, we've got to have pro-growth policies. And I believe that Donald Trump will bring peace to many of these areas because he's going to say, let's sit down, let's come to a peace agreement.
And recently, we have seen that Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he just started the Texas Stock Exchange. What do you think about that?
I think that's great. It's actually a stock exchange, and we've got a bullion depository. So he's actually moving toward some sort of an asset-based economy here in Texas for people if they choose to do it. Of course, we still have the dollar as a fiat currency, but we're making progress in Texas.
And finally, in your own words, recently Governor Greg Abbott mentioned about a new policy that is hospitals in the state of Texas need to ask for citizenship validation. What do you think about those lines? Especially, is this in line with cutting the illegal immigration process, or is this something different?
Well, the federal law says if you present yourself to a hospital, you must be treated or stabilized. We've tried to pass the SAVE Act in the U.S. Congress, and we couldn't get it done. That's proof of citizenship. So I think we ought to be asking that question because we need to make sure that our taxpayer dollars are going to the right people, the people who paid the taxes. So it doesn't really solve immigration, but it is an element of it.
But eventually, do you think certain services would be denied for those who are not declaring their citizenship? Because only emergency services is something this cannot be denied. But do you think there are certain low-level healthcare services that can be denied if they are not U.S. citizens or not taxpayers?
Of course. We need to give them stabilization, as you say, emergency services.